Hey guys, we're watching Vulgor's beer reviews, and this time I'm taking a look at Shiner Kosmos. This is part of the Shiner Family Reunion Variety Pack. That was I don't know, it was $7 or $8. Cracking it open. Smell more, I can smell malt. You know, it doesn't smell very hoppy. Was it supposed to be a pale lager? Every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner. Kosmos Spotzel knew how to brew great beer, born in Bavaria. Kosmos' mastery of German brewing carried him as far as Egypt before he found his way to the small Texas town of Shiner. Our proud brewery still carries his name and commitment to excellence in brewing. This full-flavored hop-jacked lager is every bit as unique as the man himself, and our way of saluting the brewmaster who started it all. Prosit. There's nothing finer. Alright, I got this Widmer glass that was frozen. As you can see, the bottom's still frozen, which makes it cold or longer, but since it's not really that warm, it doesn't really make that much of a point for me to freeze the glass. But that's my spot, and I didn't really grab them from the house, but whatever. I'm just blah 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 blah. Alright, here's the beer. Very golden. It doesn't look like a deep gold like corn. Maybe that's just my stigma, but it doesn't look adjuncty. But you know, Shiner brewed just in Texas. I don't think this is an adjunct lager. Anyways, back to the Beer Advocates. Or according to Beer Advocate, this is my take 2 video. They give it a 76. They say it's okay. The bros have no score, and his average review is 3.31. ABV is 4.98. American Pale Lager. Availability is rotating, so yeah. It's unlike some other beers, like I don't know about that one, but the Prickly Pear, that was, what do you call it? Fired. Ended. Expired. They don't make any more. Alright, so pour into a... I'll read that in a minute. I'm going to drink it first myself. So there's a head. It's decent. It's not thick, but it's not water, or, you know, yeah, it's not nothing. So it's got an okay head. Not that it matters, just a detail. You know, some people or whatever reviews on the internets, you know, they're like, oh, it doesn't have much of a head. It's like, you're not getting the flavor from the head. You know, you could get a great head from pouring it shit. I mean, wait, let me back up a second. You can get a lot of head by pouring it just straight down and pouring it like shit, and you get like all head, no beer. Or you can get no beer and no head and all beer. It's still going to taste the same. You're just going to have more of one or the other. I don't know, whatever. So I don't really care too much. Another thing to note is it's got plenty of carbonation. Not really overload, but just a decent amount. And yeah, the smell doesn't really smell anything spectacular or different. It just smells clean and I guess sort of refreshing. You know, it doesn't really, you don't really get smells that are unwanted. It just smells like a good beer. And then that's what I got for you. And it's pretty good. It's a damn good beer. To give it a review, like a score, I'd say probably a high 7. Or, I meant a low 7. Like, it's good. And that's what I said about Wild Hair. And if I could drink more, I guess it would have made more sense. Or now it makes more sense for me if I would have drank them side by side. But I had the Prickly Pear and the Wild Hair Pale Ale side by side. But these two, I don't know. I don't really they both taste like a beer that has a decent amount of hops, not like overload, not under, but you know, right at the okay pale lager level. This one's a pale ale, so I don't know. Maybe this had a bit more hops. After all, it does say pale ale, and a lager is supposed to be more thinner and easier to chug, you know, on a hot day or whatever. Just yeah. At least that's my understanding of the lager concept. You know, an easy drinking beer, not necessarily a easy drinking corn beer. You know. Now that I've had a couple sips, it does taste kind of standard. So if I was spending $7, $8 on this, like I did, this is a little nitpicky. Like you could be, you know, I'm not disappointed because this is a variety pack, and you know, I'm happy I got what I got, but I could see being disappointed going, really, I spent $8 on this? I mean, I could have got something else and got something a little more punch in it. So that's my only complaint. It just tastes kind of plain. It says, it has a really cool bottle, you know, and label. It looks, you know, not black and white, but faded white, whatever, and gold up here. It looks old-timey. For me, the label looks better than the actual beer. But that being said, it's not a bad beer. I mean, if you were to compare, for example, a green bottle beer, let's say, well, if you already saw it, you know what it is, but a green bottle beer, and if in case you don't know, most, if not all, green bottle beer tastes pretty identical. It might taste a little slightly different than the other, but they all taste similar. Well, with beer like this, or drinking this, it's like I could have got something different for, well, I guess not really cheaper, because if you were going to get something cheaper, it'd be, you know, an adjunct lager or an ice beer or a malt liquor or something like that, which, you know, I had no problem with. I like all types of beers. But for something like this, you know, you're spending more on something, you'd expect to get a little of a, I don't know. It's just not special. This one, it's just kind of blah. Kind of rambling on right now, aren't I? And another thing is, this has been a week, or it's been been a while since I had a beer. So, you know, when I had the Shiner Wild Hair, it really popped. You know, I'm like, wow. You know, it's really nice having a beer, and this, you know, it tastes really good. It's not overwhelming with the hops. It's just right. You know, it's just a pale ale. But this one, it's more like a lager. It says pale lager, but it doesn't really taste very pale to me. So I was gonna say high, mid, or mid. It's maybe a 7, but if that makes sense, 7, C plus, whatever, 7, yeah. So yeah, it's good, but Shiner's made better. Their Bock is better. You know, even the prickly pear, I don't want to say I liked it more, but at least this was more original. This, or let me back up. This, the Cosmos, it just tastes like, what a lager beer should taste like for cheap. Excuse me, but this isn't cheap. It's $7, $8 for a 6-pack. That's not cheap. That's reasonable for something from Texas, and I'm in Oregon. I'm not complaining about that, but you know, if I lived in Texas and I bought a 6-pack of this, I'd be like, I'd rather want this or Ciderbach, or I don't know. I'm rambling on that one. So, oh yeah, I was gonna bring up the review and the yeah. All right, poured in the beaker, golden with almost creamy-like head carbonation aromas, toasty cereal grain, and dryish cracker malt aromas. Pretty light, drier flavors, with a little smattering of leafy hops. A bit of sweet dough in the finish. No frills, but a Not a bad lager beer, average to above average, like many Shiner offerings. They say 3.43. Yeah, I guess that matches pretty much what I say. Now, what does rate beer say? I was very curious what rate beer said, even though I'm getting long in the video as usual. Come on, Google. I tried to have this up, but at least I had it searched ahead of time. Damn that ice! I stick a beer in the freezer, or yeah, the freezer with the glass sitting, you know, flat, and ice always forms on it. Oh well, at least my problems. Rate beer. Alright, here we go. After 351 ratings, this beer gets... Oh, I don't want to rate it. I want to read their review. Alright. And in case you can't hear what's going on in the background, it's raining like hell. Well, not really like hell. It's raining like Oregon. I mean, it's just a typical storm. No big deal. We have power. Okay, here we go. Finally. Alright, here we go. Overall, according to Beer Advocate, they give it a 39 out of 100 for style and overall a 14. I don't really get this. Out of 100, 14. Now 14, that'd be like a 2 out of 10? Or 1? Like a 1? That's like, you know, 211 or something. I don't know. Or Evil Eye, Earthquake, you know, La Crosse, Wisconsin shit. Not this. Yeah, I don't... In the style, it's a 39. No, in its style, it's a 50. Or 70. Around that range. 39 is kind of low. In my opinion. Alright. I think I already read... Yeah, whatever. I already read that on the side of the bottle. That's right. 149 calories. On this side, the weighted average is 2.54. So they think this is like a C- on for the user reviews on this site. But yeah, it's just seemed to be in the ballpark. Fake hops and corn, even more corn than taste. I don't really taste corn. If I don't know if it tastes like corn to you, I guess it's some good ass corn. I guess I don't know. But if it really is corn, you know. Me personally, I don't really give a shit because the fact that if it does use corn isn't the problem. The fact is it just tastes kind of dull. It doesn't really... They need to add more hops or something to make it special. It doesn't really shine. It's supposed to be a reserve. It's supposed to be something special, and it just tastes plain. And in the next video, I'm going to review the just standard Shiner beer. All right. Thanks for watching. Sorry this was a long ass review, but yeah, I got the shit to you. And there's Rush. Oh, ding, 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 ding.